We're going to do a 6-foot diameter circle. Okay, we'll go a little bit bigger. Move this over here. So we just draw our circle, and it's very important that the circle is round. If you have a flat spot, then that flat side will collapse on us. Now all the blocks that go on the outside of this, it's about 6.5 feet in diameter, so they should have a nice 2-man igloo. We got a center block spanning the entryway, and I'm a little fatter than that, so we'll have to dig that out a little bit when I get out. And let's see. Some knife. So obviously the foundation is important, because if you don't have a good foundation, the thing will collapse on us. Now this snow is pretty wet, so we don't have to carve it as much as we might with the drier, wetter, or frozen snow. The key is, this is the center of the igloo, and all the faces point to the center. We've got some great helpers bringing us blocks, which makes the construction go a whole lot faster. So good blocks, round circle, and thank you. And bright fluorescent orange pants are really the only mandatory requirements for building an igloo. One of the keys in the blocks is they get cut and stacked, set aside, and you only handle them once. And then you handle them as little as possible, so that the edges don't get round. And if you need to walk around to get better shots, just feel free to walk around. Okay, he's got one up in. And again, all these cuts go right to the center of the igloo. Alright, so now we got our first row of blocks. They have rounded edges, rounded tops, so we're going to, again, pointing to this face, we're going to cut everything to that face. Now there's some high spots and low spots, and we'll probably adapt to those as we go around. Now we don't want to put row upon row because that makes it a lot more difficult for construction. We want to spiral the blocks. So we're going to make this one and cut it down. And start our spiral here. And then we'll build our igloo as a continuous spiral from here on out. Okay, now this has got a soft spot here. You saw it break when we put it in, but the snow is it's already pretty stable, so I'm not going to worry about it. What we're looking for is a pivot point here and a pivot point here. If it's open here, that doesn't matter. You want the edges, the bottoms to be flat, and the sides to be flat. And it just chinks right in. And we're leaning it in because we want to make a sphere. So each block needs to lean as much as you can get it. Here we want to avoid putting a crack on top of a crack, so we're going to offset that joint. And you can see this point's loose, but it's okay. And carve it. Okay, so we got a high spot in the block right there, so we're going to cut that off because we want the pressure points to be here and here. And if we have a high spot, we don't get that pressure point, pivot point. And chink. Okay. Let's go ahead and roll this over. It's got a little bit of arc to it. It's already got a pretty flat edge. So these blocks are, how much do you think, 50 or 60 pounds a piece? Yeah, probably right in there.
Probably about 80 pounds.
Some of them a little heavier. And you can see it, a small boy, you know, the 7 and 8 year old boys just have trouble, or not 7 and 8, 10 and 11 year or 12 year old boys have trouble lifting that big a block. So you need adult or good teenage help. So today we have about 30 scouts and about 15 adults helping us. So here we're going to have a high spot, so we want to cut that down. We want the pivot point again to be here and there. So this one slopes out, and we want the pivot point to be top. And we'll carve that in. Chick. Kevin? And we're offsetting the joints pretty well. Now sometimes the snow isn't this soft and you have to carve more, but we're just a little right around freezing. So I think we're okay. I'm going to go ahead and hang on just a second, Ryan. Once again, again, I'm being redundant, but all the slopes, all the cuts point to that center point. If these tops are rounded and we put rounded blocks on top of them, then it's like trying to balance marbles or bowling balls. Do it. I'm not one of them. Okay. Oh, that's a nice one. Heavy, huh? And we're continuing to lean as much as we dare, or at least the blocks. You see, just by slicing this, we're letting it lean more. Nice spot. So we got a high spot there, obviously we just cut it down. Great.
Yeah, no, we're getting pretty low. We're cutting more.
So it seems like you never have enough blocks. No, have we broken any yet? No.
Well, yeah.
Oh, but not here.
Here.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, now I'm waiting for more blocks. I'm going to carve this. So we see quite a difference in the thickness of the blocks. This one's about half as thick as the last one, but if you're careful, it's okay.
Oh.
All right, the camera person fell. Okay, so here we got a gap. We got a joint that's on top of each other. It'll just have to be okay. Go ahead and stop it for a minute. All right. one of the common mistakes is not letting the blocks lean enough, and you end up with too wide of a gap to span, and you can't reach the blocks. We're going to be careful. Oh boy. Okay, hang on. Okay. So this one's got rounded edges, which is safe.
I'm gonna grab this one and I'll cut some more. Where you want it?
Okay.
Hey!
Right. Stay right there. Color in here.
And you can see Ryan's wearing a red coat.
What kind of block are you hoping to fit? What kind of block are you
Pardon? Okay, now it gets a little harder because you got a heavy block and you got to lift it up without knocking the igloo over. You want a hand? Why don't you get a hand?
Pete, set that block down.
Oh, I'll take Pete's and then the two of you can get this. That's good. We're not quite horizontal yet, we're getting there. So getting good slope. Snow sticking really well. Hey, just shove it up in there. Yeah, okay, keep that bottom there. It's okay. You can do that. Keep the shot. Yeah, that's how it's going to go. Okay, that's good. Huh? No, this size is fine. So when we get in here, I put I get the corners cut on the block, and then I put it up against my head and use my head to to hold it up while I get it in place. Okay, now there's some big gaps, and that's all right. We'll fill those gaps in later with smaller blocks. I think what we want, Kieran, is a block to span like from here to here.